Grateful to you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is fantastic. So what I'm grateful for today is life, my family, this amazing opportunity, being surrounded by like-minded individuals, because it's not something that, comes along with, being in something. So really grateful to be in this opportunity, and also to be able to share what I know and what I'm learning every single day with all of you today. So for those that do not know me, my name is Chante Oduwole. If you haven't yet already connected with me, you can do so here on Instagram. It's the main area that I'm on. I'm on Facebook, but it seems like now, in terms of ease, Instagram is the place. I'm also a wife and mother of three. It's got three girls, aged 3, 6, and 9. I'm also a platinum leader, and I was a former secondary and sixth form teacher. Funnily enough, I know you got Des on the call, so we actually worked at the same school, just kind of missed each other as I started and he left. And I'm also an owner of a nursery, which is based here in Basildon, amongst other things that I always tend to go through each week, which you can see here. So educationist, investment property owner, school governor, and a business for homes recommended distributor. Okay, so if you have practiced from last week, obviously we went through the whole Liberty strategy. All of you were really excited. Some of you even took trades on the call last week and the week before. So if you have been practicing the strategy so far, just type some ones in the chat box for me. So if you have been practicing on Liberty since you started our training session, just type some ones in the chat box so I know. Fantastic, I see them coming through. Great. I hope you've all been loving it. I'm gonna take everyone's opinions at the end of it, but I hope you're all loving it so far. I showed it to someone this afternoon for the first time, and funnily enough, when I showed it to them, they were like, wow, is it that easy? And they took a demo trade with me while on the call, and that was it. Like it was as easy as pie for them. So, for every person it's different. But most people tend to get the hang of it after maybe taking 2 or 3 trades. And if you are following your compound plan, which all of you should have, then you only need to take about 3-4 trades a day max. Okay, so going straight into it, for those that are new on the call and for those that are watching live as well, what HFX is high frequency trading. Okay, so high frequency trading, and what it is time-based trading. So it's different or similar to traditional Forex. However, what you are doing is you are entering in on the market or in the market for as little as 1 minute. So you can be in a 1-minute trade and profit from a 1-minute trade, or a 3-minute trade, 5-minute trade, 15-minute trade, and so on and so forth. And this is what a lot of us love best. It's also fixed profits. Okay, so if you were to put down £10 on a trade, you know exactly how much you're going to be getting back as your profit. In addition to that, you always know how much you will be risking in that trade. So for example, as you can see here, they all have different payout rates. So depending on the currency that I choose to participate or trade in, it has a different payout rate. Okay, obviously the best payout rates are those that have a payout rate of 70 and above, meaning that if I put down £10 again, I get back 70% on top of that. So that's £7 profit, and so on and so forth. You don't need to be the greatest at maths, because all you do is plonk it into your broker, and it always tells you how much your profit will be at the end. Okay, so even if you were to put down £100 trades, I'm so sure some of us have seen Des's call as well, where he shows you his 1-minute trade of where he's put down over 100, and in that 1 minute he profited. And I know he loves his 1-minute trade. So it's the same thing. So it's a different principle for a Liberty, because you are in a trade a bit longer. So you're in a trade for about 15 minutes, but it's the same sort of principle. Okay, so getting you started, I'm just going to make Abby co-host. Okay, so getting started, I'm going to take you straight to Liberty. So how you want to kind of access Liberty, there are 2 ways. So you can go through the IM Center. And in the IM Center is essentially everything you need. So to go and on to Go Live, which is to trade with our educators, 6-7-figure educators that have been employed by the company to give you trades. The only difference between you and our 6-7-figure educators are how much you're putting down. So if any of you have seen Matthew Thayer or traded with him, you'll see he puts down £55,000 trades. But obviously he started his account all over again, all for us. Okay, and he's building that back up. And for us, we're putting down maybe 10, 5, 100, depends on all of our accounts. Okay, so we're taking the same trade and building it the same way. Okay, and then also you then have your strategy. So this is where you're going to go to be able to access Liberty. Okay, so once you scroll down, you will see HFX. As you can see, I have access to everything. So it's great because I'm loving the DCX Academy still. And once you see that and you've clicked Liberty, you can see the Liberty icon here. If you do not want to go through this way, you don't have to go through IM Center. You can just type in Goliberty.im and it should open straight up for you to start. Okay, so as I mentioned last week, what we are doing, if I just scroll this to the side, when you open up this platform, the first thing you will see are that there are different currencies on the right-hand side. Okay, so different currencies on the right-hand side. Based on all of these different currencies, they have different currency strengths. So where I'm circling now, you can see that the Great British Pound is 70, so that's showing it stronger. And the USD is 44, which is obviously weaker than the GBP. Because the GBP is stronger, and obviously that currency is at the top, we want to buy only, okay? If the bottom currency was stronger, see it as it's pulling it down. So if the bottom currency is stronger, you only want to look to sell. In this instance of what we're looking at with GBP, I've been buying GBP all day, so I've only been looking for buy entries. You only want to buy, okay? And where you get in and how long you are in does depend on you profiting from this. So you want to get in at the best time. So what we do to start off with, so I'm going to take you step by step, and we're also going to bring any questions that you have from last week, from your trading session today. Any questions you have, you can ask on this platform here via Zoom. So just use the chat box. Okay, so as I mentioned last week, what you want to do, instead of going to your 1 hour, which the time frame is already automatically on as a default, marking up, you want to check 5 minutes first, because there's no point going to do marking up in the 1 hour chart, and by the time you drop down to 5 minutes, it's not even a good trade setup to take. Okay, so as you can see here, if I look at this, so it's been asking for going for a buy, see, and you can see that it's been doing a bit of a pullback on a lot of this. So that shows that there was a reversal. There's trying to be a reversal. You can also see that these strings aren't wide open. Okay, you can see that these are wide open, spread apart. These ones aren't. Hence the reason if you would have gone in for 10, 5-minute trades or 15-minute trades, you may not have cleared them. Okay, so the principle to this, for those that are brand new to this strategy, is if when you see a blue cloud and price is above the blue cloud and the web string, so each of these lines that we see here, let me just zoom in really well for you all. Okay, so each of these lines that we see spread, there's like a spider web. Okay, so when those strings are spread apart, it shows a good, strong momentum. Every single one of these lines are EMA lines within the web strings. Okay, so when these are spread apart, like you see, and price is above the blue cloud, and you get these buy confirmations, that's when you do want to go in for a buy. Okay, once you're doing that, it's not just based on that. You want to find out if there's any high or really high points or really low points. So I can see that this is kind of like a good trade we could go in on. So what we're going to do is we're now going to do our marking up in the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so I'm going to click on 1 hour. And why do we go to the 1 hour time frame? Well, we're trying to get as close to price as possible. So this is price still here, moving up and down. Okay, and what you're going to be doing, you can use horizontal ray. I prefer horizontal ray, or you can use horizontal line. You do not need to click on trend line. So how I got here, once again, is next to this line that you see here, you just click the little arrow and you click horizontal ray. Once you've clicked on it, just try and make it a darker color so that you're able to see it nice and clearly. Okay, so I'm looking as close to price as possible, because we're on the 1 hour time frame. Each of these candlesticks are representative of 1 hour. Okay, so each of these that we see, because we're on a 1 hour time frame, is representative of 1 hour. So currently I'm going 4 hours back, and all I'm doing is marking up the highs and the lows that I can see in that period of time. So I'm marking up different areas. Okay, and I'm going to tell you why. So I'm marking up here because that was the highest point price reached at that moment 4 hours ago. And the other area that was the high, or that served as a strong resistance, is this zone that I've marked up here. Okay, I'm going to move that up to where it was right there. Okay, so that was a resistance zone before for this area. Okay, before it's now broken through. It's obviously doing a retest on this line before maybe continuing in an upward trend. And obviously the lowest point was this area here, which if I drag this along, you can see served as the same support zone for these areas here. Okay, now that I've marked this up in a 1 hour time frame, okay, so I'm just going to go through why I've marked it up. So you've got the highest point here, closest to where price is. We've got a last area of resistance, which served as that resistance all the way along. And we've got the support area here at the bottom. Once you've done that, you can then drop to 15 minutes. You know, some of the educators do go through 30 minutes, etc. But once you've kind of, you're trying to get as close to price, I'd go straight to 15 minutes. Okay. Now we're in the 15-minute time frame. Don't forget that 1 hour time frame we looked at is just broken down into smaller bite-sized chunks. So because we're on the 15-minute time frame, you can see that each of these are now representative of 15 minutes each. Okay, I don't see any other kind of key areas other than here. So I'm just going to mark this one up. I can't see any other main areas of support or resistance. I'm marking this area up because price rejected off this area a few times. So in the past hour plus, price has been rejecting off this area here. So what I'm going to do is mark this up as a light zone. So this is what you can do to kind of help yourself to know if it's a strong zone, if it's a light zone, etc. Okay, so that's my strong zone, which is the one that I've got marked up. So what I'll do is mark it up in red for you. And then that's my resistance. And this area here is my support. Okay, and any other areas or lines that I put in between are my mini support and resistance zones, as I mentioned last week. Okay, now that you've done that, you can go straight on to the 5-minute chart. Okay, you can see the 5-minute chart here. Let's spread that open. Okay, now that we've got a blue cloud, what we're waiting for is a buy signal or a buy arrow. And what we don't want to do is take any buyers that may be around our support and resistance zone. So see this black line that I'm put here? I did do that as my mini line. Okay, I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by that. Okay, so you can see it called for a buy here, but guess what? Price didn't go past that area. Why? We knew not to take that buy because it was around a mini sort of resistance zone. So until price, as you can see, this price moving, breaks through this line and closes above the line, we're not going to go in for a buy. So sometimes you may find that you've gone in for a trade, and as soon as you've gone in for the trade, price decides to do the opposite and go all the way beyond your price. Well, you've probably entered at a mini resistance zone or a mini support zone, one of the two. Okay, if that does happen. So we know until price pulls and breaks through this line, that is my mini resistance zone, and closes, we're not going to go in for that buy. Okay, so we're going to keep that there. You can save it if you need to, or if you want to kind of save your chart, you could just save it. So I'm just going to save this as my name. So once I come back onto GBP USD, my lines and my marking up will always be there. You know, you can adjust it. Obviously, price is not always buying always, but it's always there for you to kind of move around. Okay, so that's this area here. So if we go and look at a different currency pair that is a sell, so I can give you an example. So we've shown you the buy. Let's go and look at for a sell. I don't want to do GBP. Let's look for EUR. It's a bit different. Okay, so EUR AUD, is that a good example? Right, so this is an okay-ish example. Okay, so it's the same thing as before. So what you are looking for in terms of confirmation, which I will type in for you, is you are looking at the color of the cloud. So for example, for a sell, we want the red cloud and price to be below the red cloud, and web strings spread apart. And you should see some sell arrows. When you have that, that then equals a sell. So you can go in for that sell. Okay, so I've moved this along. Should make this smaller. There we go. Okay, so when you have that, that then means you can go in for your sells. Obviously, you can see that it's all kind of squashed together when it's starting. When it started, when we got the sell arrow, it was squashed together. So I may have ignored that one, even though it did go in for a sell. I only take great setup. So if I'm not too sure, so let's say, for example, you would have only seen, if I move this along, you would have only seen this. It's come from a squashed out area. So I'm going to just circle it. This is all squashed together. So when this arrow called for a sell, you would have only seen this squashed area. I wouldn't have taken it purely because it's in a squashed area. I'm only waiting to see price spread out like you can see here. So when price has spread out, then I can look for some sell opportunities. Okay, so you could take a sell opportunity here. So that was the next arrow that showed up for us. Mark that up darker. So that was a sell arrow here. So you would have entered. Anytime these arrows appear, let's go zoom in. Anytime these sell arrows or buy arrows appear, they are appearing when it crosses this thick red line. Okay, if you are in a buy, it only appears for a buy arrow when it crosses this thick blue line. Okay, but in this instance for a sell, only when it crosses this thick red line will this sell arrow appear. Okay, so as soon as it crosses, what I can do is hover to kind of see the best price for me to get in on. So if you look towards the right, you can see the price. So it says 969. So around 969, that would have been the best price to kind of enter in on. So I would have entered, let me try and mark that up for you. So I would have entered here. Okay, let's mark it up in gray. So crossed right there. Okay, so through that line, cross through right where I've marked it up. So I would have entered at 974. Once I've entered in at 974, you're then in a trade for, most of the time I take 15-minute trades, and I always advise, especially during the day, because don't forget the market is very volatile during the day. There's so many participants. You've got the bankers, you've got hedge fund managers, you've got banks, you've got yourselves, you've got actual traders, okay, or those on the trading floor. So you've got lots of people. So there's a lot of volume in the market. That's why, it's very volatile. In the evening, that's when I prefer to take shorter trades. Hence the reason why I then use Hourglass mainly for the evening sessions or the evening times. Okay, not that there's any difference. You can use Liberty as well. I just like to make sure that I'm continuing to be skillful on both. Okay, so you've gone in for a sell, 15 minutes right here at 974, 5, 10, 15. Price closed here. So I'm going to mark this up here. So price closes on the blue one right at the top. So this is where price closed. Okay, you would have cleared that trade. One trade that you wouldn't have cleared, if I mark this up, I'm going to mark it up to be red to show you the one that was lost. Okay, so this is a good example of a loss. So you've gone in 5, 10, 15. Now, although price closed at your entry, that would have been a break even. And the reason why it would have been a break even is exactly where you've entered. So where I've got this dot is exactly or nearish where price entered or where price closed. Okay, so you would have broken even, meaning that, you've entered in at, let's see where this crossed, at 927, and price closed on this at 931. So 3-point difference, very, very close. So even if it had touched it or you won by 3 points, either of the two, you would have either won or broken even, meaning that, price did not finish where you needed to finish. Okay, so either of those two. Another one, we've got another setup here for a sell. Okay, so you've entered in for a sell here. Once again, price is below the red cloud, nicely spread out, 5, 10, 15. You've cleared that trade. In the same one, 5 minutes after you've entered that trade, you get another call for a sell. Okay, 5, 10, well, you can't even see that. I've got to move that up. Okay, it's a 5, 10, 15. Price closes all the way down here. You have another setup right here. So 5, 10, 15. So as you can see, you are taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you've taken 5 trades and you've only lost 1 in the space of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, in the space of 40 minutes. Now, as I said earlier at the beginning of this call, you only need to really take 3 to 4 trades a day max to meet your compound plan. So by the time you've taken those trades, you should be in profit and have met your target, unless you are doing, you know, above 8% you know, compounding. Okay, so taking you to the compound calculator. Once again, if, for example, you've started the compound calculator and, you know, you've used your own money to be practicing, and it may not be, you might be behind on your compound plan, you can just redo your compound plan, because you need your compound plan to be planning and guiding you to how much you need to do. You do need to know the destination and where you're aiming for and how much you're aiming for per day. Okay, so if you do have 250 or 500 in your account, just put how much is in your trading account. Ideally, depending on your time, depending on the kind of busy person you are, you can trade or grow this by 3 to 5% a day. Okay, so I tend to go for the higher amount because that's just me and it's achievable. I think it's perfect on this account. If you think it's not, you can stick to 3%. And as I said, let's just do it for a month and continue through. For the daily reinvest rate, obviously we're going to continue. We're not taking anything out of it for that month, and growing by 100%, including the weekends, we're going to click no. Okay, so based on that, I know by the ending of this month, my account should be 1,000 plus. How? My earnings, i.e. this is the profit bit. Okay, so this is your profit, £12.50. So ideally you want to split how much you are expecting to earn into 3 trades. Okay, so you could do £12.50 divided by 3. Okay, divided by 3. So on each trade, your profit should be about £4.16. Okay, if you've got a £250 account and you're not going to be risking more than 3%, okay, that means each trade you're putting down is £7.50. If you go for a payout rate of 70% and above, okay, so I'm just going to add 70%. That's a terrible example. £7.50 plus 70%. You can see that is my profit from that trade. So it's even more than I needed. So once again, 3 trades equals what you need to earn. So 525 times 3, 525 times 3 is 1575. So you're still more than enough where you need to be. Okay, so make sure you are utilizing the compound plan. Don't just be taking trades willy-nilly. You do need to kind of follow a plan to avoid 1, over trading, 2, to be grateful, because even some people, they'll be like, oh, you know, I've only done an hour's trading, but your hour's trading has helped you meet your target. Once you've done that, you just close the laptop and keep it moving, because, you know, you can get into the habit of over trading. And when I say over trading, it means taking trades after trades after trades. You can sit here all day and take trades if you want to. However, when you get into that cycle, you know, you need a break. You do need a break. If you are taking breaks, then fine. You know, and if you do want to still continue, then you can obviously drop the percentage, because you've met your interest rate or your target, daily target of interest for the day. You can drop to a smaller amount, so you are not risking what you've now gained. Okay. Let us take you on to, let's go and check GBP USD again, where we were before. Drop to 5 minutes. Nope. Has it decided to clear my chart? So I want to see exactly where it was. Okay, so it's coming through the cloud and it's closed below the blue support line. So what does this tell us? For those that are familiar with terminology, now that this has closed below where I put my support or my blue line, what does this tell us? Oh, you're welcome, Tasha. What does this tell us? For those, you can have a guess as well if you're not too sure. What does this tell us? For the fact that it's broken through the support line and it's closed below the support line and it's continuing, what does this tell us? Does this tell us it's still going in for a buy? Thank you, Rex. It's getting ready for a sell, or this could be a pullback. So this could be a pullback. And when we see things like this, we go back to 1 hour to see where will price, or where could price kind of pull back or pull down to. Well, guess what? Remember the other area that I saw was here. Okay, so the other area of support that I had here was all the way down there. So we could see price pull all the way down here before continuing up again. Or price may pull back to here, which I will mark up again. Okay, so when it's doing the opposite. And the reason why I'm marking this area up is because this is an area where prices wicked and rejected off. Prices hit it, rejected off it. Prices tried going through it, rejected off it, and then it did. It came down again. Okay, so this could be another potential area. So until we have got a clear indication as to where price is going, I wouldn't enter in for this trade. Also, as I said to you before, that these indicators do lag behind price. So this could be a reversal. We might see this turn into another sell, but until then, we're not going to be taking any trades on that. Don't forget, you don't want to think like, oh yeah, well, it said sell. We only take sells when it's underneath what color cloud? What color cloud do we only take sells?
Red.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so we're only taking it underneath the red clouds. Okay, so I'm going to try and find another example. Look at this one. It's through the cloud. It's called for a sell. But guess what it did? It pulled all the way back and then it continued in the buy direction. So as I mentioned earlier, it may pull down to this gray line that we see here, which is at 442, and then go in for a buy. Only time will tell once this price touches this line. Okay. So if that is clear, drop some twos in the chat box. So if that section is clear, drop some twos in the chat box. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask. Do feel free to ask. Lovely. Okay. If you do have any questions based on trades you've taken as well, you can type that in or unmute yourselves to tell me a trade that you're not sure why, or anything you're unsure about. Okay, so let us go on to
Chante, quick question.
Oh yes, Rex.
Yes, so you're not taking this sell. Is it because it's still within the cloud?
Still in the cloud, and you see this line that I've put here?
Yeah.
That was my marking up from the 1 hour time frame. So price doesn't mean it's going to continue in a sell just because it's called for a sell. We only want to take sells below the red cloud. The reason why we're not going for this sell is because once price hits here, it might just reject off it and then continue in the buy direction. Yeah. So I'm going to save this again and we can come back and look at that. But the likelihood is price may touch this area, which I marked up here, and then go in a buy direction. Or the only way we would know if price is going for a sell, if then price broke through this area and then we look for another area of support or resistance, but which is all the way down here next. Okay. Once again, you don't have to do 15 minutes. I think I've just seen someone's message. So you don't always have to do 15 minutes, but when you are starting on Liberty, I like people to love it and enjoy it, because when you take that 15-minute trade, put it this way, when you take a 15-minute trade, you've gotten in at a specific price. Let's say, for example, you get in here. If you enter for 15 minutes, it gives the market enough time to do what it needs to do. You don't even see your entry. That's the best kind of trade for me. Have you ever used a smaller time frame, so like just 2 minutes or 3-minute trades, and then you might need to roll over because you need extra time, and then you might need to roll over? Well, this kind of mitigates that. If you kind of do 15 minutes, you don't really need to roll over. This is more than enough time for the market to kind of go in your direction without having to risk having to roll over for more time. Also, when you go in for 3-minute trades, you might enter, price will, go shooting off, and then just before you're about to clear, price comes back down to your entry. It's annoying. So yeah, so Adet loves 15 minutes. I do. It sounds like it's long, but I kid you not, it's not. Because once you've taken that trade, you're not going to sit there and start watching it. You look for other setups, or you'll continue to check Liberty to find if it's giving you another entry or another price to get in at. Okay, so you're going to love it.
Chante.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Lola.
Hi, Lola.
Is it okay if I ask you? I didn't win one trade, so I wanted to know if you could look at it for me.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think I was using Webslinger, so I thought I should ask now.
Yeah. Ask me. What pair was it?
Euro AUD or Euro AUD. And it was, well, technically it was 12 a.m., like 6 minutes past 12 this morning. I was up. I couldn't sleep.
Is that your excuse?
Yes.
Okay, right. So 5 minutes. 6 minutes past 12. I need to move
Yeah.
everything out of the way. 12 this afternoon, no, midnight, you said, right?
Midnight, yeah.
6 minutes past 12. Let's keep going. So around here. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's mark that up. 6 minutes past 12. So around 12:05.
Yeah, I think it was
Mark
that.
this up as purple. Okay, so you took this buy.
No, I think I went in for a set. I'm looking at Vidi Forex, and I went in for a put at 911.
911. Okay, let's go and mark that.
So I don't know.
So just click this. 911.
Yeah.
So you got in for a sell here. There's nothing here that shows end to end at that time. Because I'm here on.
Oh no, wait. Are you on the right? You're on.
It
says 11th of May. Is that right? What? Oh yeah, that's right. That's fine.
That's this morning, yeah.
Yeah.
So I've marked up 911. I've marked up. Did you use Liberty or did you use Hourglass?
No, I used Liberty. I'm sure I used Simple Scalper, Webslinger as well.
Yeah, because they were only calling for buys based on this. Yeah, only buys based on 0.06 is on this candle, so just after this candle.
Oh, I don't know what I was doing then. Never mind.
It's okay. But then even so, like let's look at 1 hour. If you go to 1 hour time frame, let's find the purple line that I marked up. There we go. So here's your line. So you would have entered around here. Okay, so what you would have done is do all of your marking up. So I can see price rejected around this area quite often. And this was obviously the real lower low. I got to, and then what I would do is go down to 15 minutes. Where's the purple line? There we go. Because don't forget, you're not going to see anything past the purple line because you're still looking for zones. Unless did you take a sell around here? No, that's 15 minutes. You would have had it on the 5 minutes. It's too far back.
Yeah, I had it on the 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so where I've marked up, once again, kind of continue to serve as that support and resistance, adjust it. 5 minutes. Where's the purple line? There we go. So yeah, everything was saying buy.
I don't know why I was thinking. I must have been tired.
Yeah, because as you can see, once price touched it, this is like once price touched it, it went down. Price touched it again, went down. Price touched that same resistance area in the 1 hour, went down, up and down. So yeah, only buys on this one.
Oh, okay. Alrighty, never mind. Thank you.
That's okay, you're welcome. Yeah, so that's a good I like discussing things like that. So if you do have trades, let me know. I like analyzing. It's good because that's a good way of everyone learning together. Okay, so let us go on to Simple Scalper 2.0. Okay, and on Simple Scalper 2.0, once again, everyone loves it. It depends on the kind of learner, like those ones, everyone's got their preference of, Webslinger. I like it because I don't have to do too much more. I only have to do a few marking up and it's very easy to just look and spot. Some people do prefer Simple Scalper because they like to line up all the colors. That's another thing, by the way. We've got the strategy that I mentioned last week on the traditional Forex side called colors. That is amazing as well. That's just as good because if you like colors and you like things to match up, then it's great. Okay, so once again, on the right-hand side, you'll have the alert panel. It's automatically as default, once again, on the 1 hour. And then what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing of dropping down to 5 minutes because it's the 5 minute area that we want to enter trades on. Okay. How do you get to Simple Scalper? Okay, so let's go back to Webslinger. So to get to Simple Scalper, when you go on to Goliberty.im or you go on to through the IM Center, it automatically opens up in Webslinger. What you're going to do is go to here, strategies, click strategies, and it comes up with all of the different strategies underneath Liberty. So you've got the traditional or the original Simple Scalper, which if you've watched any of Millie Mills's older videos, this is what she uses. You've got the newer version. So all the newer versions are the ones that are 2.0. Okay, so once you click that, you click on Simple Scalper 2.0 and it will take you to where I am now. Okay, once you are here, you then just drop down to 5 minutes. Okay, so once you're on the 5-minute time frame, and I always tell people to start from the bottom. Okay, so starting from the bottom, I'm going to open up this really, really wide. So you have some dark shaded areas, you have some light shaded areas. Anytime you see the darker shaded areas, it's when there may be a reversal or a dip, anything that's like a pullback, something like that. Okay, so when you see a red area, we want to sell. Same thing. When you see a blue Elliott wave or cloud area, we only want to buy. You then also have these lines cutting through. If you've got a red cloud, you only want to see a red line cutting through. When you get like a red line here, that's the best place for you to kind of take your sells. Why? Because it's a red Elliott wave area and you've got a red line cutting through. As you can see, when it's to the darker shaded area, you see the blue line. So the blue line started from here, came back out, and then started with the red line again. So when you see things like that, it's always good to note. So I'm just going to mark that up. Okay, so you want everything to line up. Once again, you have the Bollinger Bands just taking you through Simple Scalper. It might look really scary, but it's really not. Okay, so you've got the Bollinger Bands, you have the same Bollinger Bands here at the bottom, and then you've got the median, which is within the Bollinger Band. So that's like your EMA within the Bollinger Band itself. Okay, and you start from the bottom, or I advise people to start from the bottom because it's just easier to match up. Okay, so you've got a red cloud area with a red line cutting through. That's your first confirmation. Have we got a red line area? Yes, we do. So we're going to mark that one up. Have we got a red candle? Yes, we do. However, the red candle is right next to the Bollinger Band. So that Bollinger Band is like a wall. If you have your, if you're going in for a sell, and your sell is right next to the blue Bollinger Band, it's normally a thing of when it touches that blue Bollinger Band, it's going to go in the opposite direction. So you ideally want to take your sells coming from this median EMA line or right at the top of the Bollinger Band where it's red. Okay, so when you find that you're right next to this bottom blue Bollinger Band, you normally find a reversal. So in this instance, I'm going to mark this up as can't mark it up as red. Let's mark it up as a dark brown. Actually, let's mark it up as a yellow. You wouldn't take it, okay? You wouldn't take it because it's right next to the blue Bollinger Band. So you continue waiting through. So you're going to be waiting for another, and you'll also be waiting for a sell. I'm going to make this darker as well. So these are the parabolic SARs, which I said are my favorite, one of my favorite indicators. So you can see it. Okay, so when that parabolic SAR, which is the dot, is on top of the red candle, that means it's kind of pushing the market down. When you find that that parabolic dot is underneath, it shows that it's kind of pushing the market up. Okay, and that varies all the time. Okay, it's more, I would say it's more, it does lag behind price, but it's more suited to higher time frames. So you find it's more accurate on a 1 hour as opposed to 5 minutes, because on the 5 minutes, it'll just be going up above and below and so forth. Okay, so we're going to be looking for another one. So let's go and look for another sell. This one, you want all the lines to match up. So this one doesn't match up because we haven't got a sell arrow. This one matches up. We have a sell arrow on this one. Okay, however, it's got this blue line cutting through, which means that it might be a short reversal. But let's say, for example, you saw that and you ignored the line. So make this purple again. You've got a red area here, but you haven't got a red histogram area here. Okay. Once again, you want all of them to match up. So let's move on to the next sell opportunity where everything matches up. Let's make this purple now. Okay, so I'm just dragging them along. So red Elliott wave area, check. Have we got the red line cutting through? Check. Is this a red histogram area? Yes, it is. Have we got a red candle with a parabolic dot on top? Yes. Is it right next to the Bollinger Band? It is. It really is. So you could take this at a 1% risk, but it's closer to the red Bollinger Band, or was closer to the red Bollinger Band if you look at the direction that market was going in. So should you have taken that because you've got five actually confirmations, 1, 2 being the parabolic dot, 3 being a histogram, 4 being this red Elliott waves, and 5 being the line. You've got 5 different confirmations on 1. So I would have gone in for a trade, okay? If you are unsure, always make sure that you are using risk management. So don't go in for a 3% risk trade, maybe take a 1% risk trade, or 0.5 is up to you. Okay, so you could have gone in 5 minutes, you could have gone in 15 minutes. Even if you did 5, 10, 15, price closed all the way down here, okay? I'm trying to find a buy example just to give you a better scope. So let's look at another pair. NZD-JPY is not on the broker. So let's look at USD CAD. It's a good example. Is this a buy on 5 minutes? No, it's not. But what I could do is just scroll back to an area that it was blue, just to give you guys a good example. So this area is kind of blue, so I can go with this one, even though overall, overall you can see it's kind of moving in a consolidation downish trend. I'm going to zoom in. Okay, so you've got a blue area. This area is cutting through. Okay, so I'm going to mark that up. You've got a blue histogram area. I've done it on the wrong area, haven't I? Where's the buy arrow? There we go. Buy arrow is there. Okay. When you see that this is coming through, once you see it's transitioning, always be very cautious. And you've got your buy arrow here. Okay. So we've got blue, a little bit of a blue cloud. So I'm going to zoom in for you all to see, because I know this may appear small. Okay. As you can see, you've got a little bit of a blue clouded area here. This is what I mean by transitioning. We are in the transition period. So you might find it may take a bit longer to move in the upward direction, but we know it will, because it's coming out of a blue line as well. Okay. You can see that this is a red cloud. So it should be going as a sell, but it had a blue line going out on the outside, meaning that showing that, it's moving in the upward direction. Okay. As you can see. So when it's going in for a sell, you can see it's moving in an upward direction. Okay. So it's just about looking to make sure that you're taking the right setups. And we've got a buy. So 1 confirmation, 2 confirmation, 3 confirmation being the blue candle, 4th confirmation being the buy arrow, 5th confirmation being the parabolic star. We're going for a buy. 5, 10, 15. Price closes here at the top. Let me see who I've got, who I can pick on. Let's see. Oh, I can see Jan. Hi, Jan. Can you answer a question for me? Okay, so would we go in on this trade here that I'm circling? Let me move this out of the way. So would you go in on this trade here? And if so, why? If not, why? Oh, we can't hear you, Jan. You got to unmute yourself. I can't hear you, Jan. I think you might have to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm just saying I am not 100% sure because I'm quite new to this.
So is it? I decided to pick on someone.
Just started watching the videos, so.
Oh, bless you. Okay, that's fine. Let's see. I'm gonna pick on someone. Karen. Karen is here. Okay, Karen. Are you there, Karen? I'm just literally scrolling through names. If you are there, could you unmute yourself? No, she's gonna stay silent. People are gonna ignore me. People are gonna ignore me. Right. Rex. Yay.
Yes. What's going on?
You answered the call. So would you go in on this for a buy?
You know what? I'm probably gonna give you the wrong answer, but I probably would have.
Why?
And the reason is because I've seen that it's rallying up and then I've seen that there's been a bit of a pullback. And so my assumption is that the next candle will continue going up, but the answer is probably no, you shouldn't. If I'm honest.
It's no. So Kemi gave the right, so no, you won't. So 2 people said no. Okay, so Kemi, Could you unmute yourself to explain why you wouldn't go in for a buy?
Okay, so number one, the Elliott wave is blue.
Yeah.
The what do you call this line now? The Instagram is not,
Yep.
yeah, it's faded, it's not lined up,
Yep.
and it's buy under the red candle. So all our confirmation is not right.
Thank you, Kemi. Fantastic. Okay, so
Well
you've
done,
got-
Kemi.
Yeah.
Thank you, boss.
Yeah, fantastic. So you've got the blue Elliott wave area, which shows that we only want to look for buys. Okay. And we've got the blue line cutting through. So that confirmation matches up. But this second area, when we have some gray areas like this, we don't enter that trade. That shows it's in a consolidation or there's no clear. I saw your message, Rex. The way I was preparing my dinner and then heard my name. Came running. Oh, God. Okay, so you've got the gray histogram area, which is another sign that the market is moving sideways or there's no clear direction. And rightly so, as Kemi said, you've got a red candle. Okay, so you've got a red candle. The candle is not blue, so we wouldn't enter in on that trade. Okay, this one, is great if you like to have colors lined up and you are very, studious in terms of marking up. This is great. It's just that you need to be able to kind of train your eyes to know where they are. Vivian, and the parabolic star is underneath. Yep, so you want it to be underneath for a buy. We don't want it to be above for a buy. So it is right for a buy. It's just that the blue candle, we haven't got a blue candle, we've got a red candle. So we wouldn't have gone in for a buy on that one. So if this simple scalper makes sense, if you want to just type, this strategy, Rex, is Simple Scalper 2.0, so 2.0. So it's the most recent one. They were all the 2.0 versions were released ending of January. What's the lowest time frame you can use on this? Ooh, you got 1 minute available. You can use 1 minute if you want to. But you're going to be looking for setups quite frequently. So you can see here, you got a sell arrow is right next to the Bollinger Band. Great. Parabolic star is on top, but this area doesn't match up. So you could take a risk if you wanted to, but I wouldn't. I would only wait for them all to match up. So this is nearest to the Bollinger Band underneath this middle EMA. You could take a 1 minute risk on that. But once again, especially if you are new, do not be in a rush or do not be in a hurry to use lower time frames. It all comes in time, especially just to ease frustration. Once you get 15 minutes and you're clearing trades, wouldn't it be nice for you to look at all of your closed trades and see that you've had 5 wins and maybe only 1 loss, or 10 wins and only 2 losses? That's great. Okay, so do not be in a rush. Great. Okay, so if that makes sense, type some 2s in the chat box so that I know we've all understood this one. We've all understood this one. Wonderful. Okay, so what we're going to do is going to go back to Webslinger. I want to see that GBP USD that I mentioned and marked up for you all earlier. Move this out of the way. Loads chart. And let's look at where price currently is. And price has broken through the last support. Okay, so price has broken through that last support. Because obviously this is the last support that we had here and price closed underneath it. Okay, so you can see that this is a reversal. How long that reversal may be going on for, we don't know. We just do not know. So I'm going to try and find a good example of one where it's got blue with a sell. These are all squashed together. I'm trying to find one that is a good example of what I mean. Okay, so this is a good example. So coming through, but you can see that the next area is red, is a red cloud. We haven't got that where price is. So when things like that are happening, once again, I just kind of avoid and stay away from them. So until this gives me all of the confirmations I want, oh look, it's all the way down here. Until price gives me all of the indications I want, I do not go in on this trade. Going back to the question box. Oh, you're welcome, Julia. You're welcome. If a parabolic SAR is under the candle, think of it as pushing the price up. Yeah, exactly. That is exactly it. So if the parabolic dot is on top of the candle, it's pushing price down. And if that dot is underneath the candle, it's pushing price up. So those are the two today. Once again, I always upload all the videos. I know I do paste it in the HFX community support group, but if you do go onto YouTube and just type in my name, you will see that it comes up. Okay, so all the liberties of each week. So this was the week before, and today's session will also go up on there as well. Same kind of principle I always teach each and every week. So once again, I hope you have enjoyed. Please do remember, if you are watching it on YouTube, subscribe, like, share, as they always say. But I hope you've all found this enjoyable. I hope it's been helpful for you all. And with that, I will say have a wonderful evening, and by God's grace, I will see you next week.
I have a question.
Oh, who's got a question? Who's got a question?
Hey, Vivian.
Hi, Vivian. How are you?
Hi, thank you. Question for you. If GBP is stronger than USD, what should you be doing?
GBP is stronger, so you only want to be buying.
Okay.
Yeah, so if the top currency, whichever way it's, you know, if you say GBP, JPY, if GBP is stronger, that's the one on top. So you want to buy. If the bottom currency is stronger, you want to sell. So always look at which currency is stronger, and that's what you want to do. If it's on top, you want to buy. If it's at the bottom, you want to sell.
Okay. Is this from looking on the right side of Liberty?
Yes. So if you go, let's go back quickly to Liberty. So if you look at Liberty, I'm going to try and find a random one. So EUR, NZD. Out of these two currencies, they're really similar. So if you find things like this, stay away from these ones. But NZD CAD, for example, you can see CAD is stronger. So because CAD is at the bottom and it's stronger, you want to sell.
Okay.
Yeah. And obviously, let me try and find one like this one. So AUD, JPY, AUD is at the top and it's stronger. So you want to buy.
Okay. Supposing that it's not showing there, you've just gone to, let's say, race options, and you've seen the percentages and they're not in this column on this side.
Oh, yeah. So what you can do, there's another one. So it's called live charts, currency strength meter. You can always check it here. Always check it here as well. You know, if it's not on the right panel for whatever reason, you can refresh it before you take a trade, refresh it to see which one is stronger. So I don't like to go for the currencies that are the same strength. So USD, JPY, they're the same strength to me. So ideally, I want to stay away from those. I want one where one is a little bit weaker, because you will find more of a momentum in the direction you want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
That answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
You are welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so I hope you all have a wonderful week. Once again, continue to take your trades, continue to practice, and obviously next week we will continue to share all of those that we've gone through. Other than that, good night and take care. Bye-bye.